Hello and welcome. Margaret Ann Lembo here. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to share with you about my book and deck. My book is called Animal Totems and the Gemstone Kingdom, Spiritual Connections of Crystal Vibrations and Animal Medicine, and the Animal Allies and Gemstone Guardians cards. So I want to share with you that when I had the realization I was supposed to write this book, I woke up from a good night's sleep and I had literally this exact title in my head. I heard Animal Totems in the Gemstone Kingdom, Spiritual Connections of Crystal Vibrations and Animal Medicine. The whole thing came just like that. So I immediately got up, I didn't pause to stop it go. I just went straight ahead and right to my computer and sent emails off to publishing houses, two that I get published by, and Fintorn Press, who I'm grateful to very much, said yes to the publication and did both the book and the deck. So tonight I want to share with you the contents and the information about Animal Totems and the Gemstone Kingdom, as well as Animal Allies and the Gemstone Guardians cards. Just wanted to show this sweet little collage, if you will, or patchwork quilt of animals that I had during the meditation portion of this experience. And here you can see that there are 88 animals in Animal Totems and Gemstone Kingdom book. So with each animal, there's going to be a matching crystal vibration. And the deck has 44 cards, but the book has 88 animals in it. The cards have 44 animals. Maybe someday there'll be a second deck with the other 44, but you can see like Moth and Moonstone, which has to do with dreaming, dream time, and receptivity, or the goldfish and golden topaz for good luck and happiness and joy and good fortune, or the wolf and celestial quartz crystal for connecting with wisdom and knowledge. So here's an example of one of the many, one of the 88. I picked hawk and labradorite. So for this entry, you can see that there's a great picture of the actual gemstone, and I couldn't quite get the hawk. I had to plop the hawk here, but it is in the book. It's just on the next page, so you can't. It's hard to copy and like cut it to get it onto the PowerPoint presentation. But each entry for each animal and gemstone starts with a question for contemplative thought. So you can see here that with hawk and labradorite is, are you able to look at life from a higher perspective? Have you made the effort to petition the heavenly realm for guidance and assistance? Do you desire a loyal life partner? And then I share about what the hawk totem is as an ally and how you can work with that vibration when hawk swoops into your life so you know what to use and what to do with that. So hawks have extraordinary vision. So this is a message to take notice of what's barely perceptible. And also hawk is known as one of the messenger birds, so that brings messages. So you can work with labradorite and the vibration of hawk, even if you don't have a hawk, which you shouldn't, I wouldn't think. Um, but you may see a hawk in the sky and you can think to yourself, what message am I looking for? What do I need to know? What do I need to get a better perspective of? And how can I get a really good feeling of what direction I need to go in order to have a happier life? So also I want to read this little last paragraph of the first section, which is hawk is a good ally in order to encourage monogamy in a lifelong partner. Hawks mate for life in a monogamous relationship. Observe and reflect on what you want to manifest or revive within your future or current romantic relationship. Look at it from many angles and from a higher perspective. So the next entry is about Hawk's vibrational matching gemstone, labradorite. And then I share a bit about Labradorite, and this is cut off because I can only fit so much on a page. And then the divine influence, which the divine influence also is always connecting with one of the archangels or one of the everyday angels. As you probably already know, one of my books that I have is called The Essential Guide to Everyday Angels. And I also have a deck that is Angels and Gemstone Guardians cards. So I already have been sharing about the everyday angels, which in this case would be the angel of romantic partnership. But also the Archangels deck, Archangels and Gemstone Guardians cards are available to you. And the reason I'm bringing that up is not as a sales pitch, but to show you that you have plenty of resources to get to know and understand and connect with divine influences. And I do have a new Archangels and Saints book coming out. It's just not, I haven't finished writing it yet. I'm still working on it. I do that in the morning. Before work, I get to write a little in my book whenever I can. Anyway, so then I have the location on the wheel of life. So where are you going to find this animal in the what I call the medicine wheel or the wheel of life? And I'll talk a little bit more about that in a moment. And then I have an entry on what to contemplate. What do you need to do in the situation if Hawk flies into your life or you notice Hawk or a lot of Labradorite is showing up all of a sudden? Because if you're a gemstone aficionado or someone who loves the Rock Kingdom, you may all of a sudden be coming across a lot of Labradorite. So, anyway, the contemplate this is to rise above the situation at hand. Look beyond what you can integrate when you are enmeshed in a situation and observe from a broader perspective. And then there's more there for you to read too. So then there's a message from the hawk's affirmation, the positive thought forms that the hawk medicine gives you, the message from Labradorite, and also what additional vibrational matching gemstones are for hawk. Because it's not just one gemstone. There are others that are vibrating at a similar rate when you're referring to animal medicine. So now let me show you another one. So here's woodpecker and petrified wood. So woodpecker is a totem that helps you when you need to figure out what is blocking you. And if you could see me, I'm doing air quotes because I don't know how much we should buy into that anyone has a block. It's our perceived blocks, but we don't necessarily have blocks. So this typically relates though relates to the truth or hidden agendas. So when woodpecker gets involved, they're going to get down to deeper levels of your mind and emotions. That's what's going to help you figure things out. And the contemplate this in this case, and this is just little excerpts now. This is the whole entry for this particular animal. What's buried deep within your consciousness? Do you have something so stagnant within your belief system you can't break out of the mold? Are you petrified of something? Step outside yourself and observe the generational patterns in your ancestral history. Sometimes it's hard to recognize that a belief is holding you back. It takes courage, persistence, and spiritual fortitude to discover it. Weed out what no longer serves you and embrace what does. So, in other words, these entries for each one of these animals and the gemstones that are matching it are going to help you do some deeper work for yourself and help you improve yourself with self-observation. I mean, I would recommend actually working with a journal while you're working through the book, and you could either use it and go through it based on what you saw in nature, and then go use it as a reference guide, or you could read straight through and read about each one of the animals. But if either way, I recommend doing some journal work. Okay. So then the next little section after the 88, so there's 88 animals that I do that for 88 animals. The next section I have an appendix. Now you guys must know by now that I love to have good appendixes or appendices in my books so that it's easy to look things up. So that, let's say you all of a sudden have ants invading your your kitchen, and you say like, okay, well maybe there's a message here besides the fact that I need to, you know, do something better with keeping my kitchen counters clean or however. But the message could also have to do first with taking a look at what gemstones are related to that particular animal. So with ant, in addition to the one that is already the everyday one, which I think I assigned red calcite to that one, is azurite, malachite, blue lace agate, blue calcite, clear quartz, singing crystal, celestite, Picasso stone, and red calcite. So it's not just one gemstone. So this way gives you all the gemstone listings for that one animal. Now the second appendix, Appendix B, is the animal listings for the gemstones. So now you can look it up by gemstone and say, oh, what animal is related to amber? Well, beaver, beetle, clam, deer, earthworm, wolf, woodpecker. Well, then you can go back and read any one of those particular animal listings to get even more insights and information. Then the next appendix is the Wheel of Life location for the animal. So some of you have participated in some of my presentations on the Wheel of Life. And for those of you that are watching this either live or on YouTube at a future date, this will be up on YouTube probably by tomorrow evening. You can go back and watch some of those classes, those mini workshops on working with the Wheel of Life. And on the right-hand side, you can see a little diagram. It's based on Sun Bear's medicine wheel. If you wanted to read more about medicine wheels, there's a medicine wheel book by Sun Bear. I can't think of the exact name of the book at the moment. And so here, what I did was, every animal has a place. They have a location on the Wheel of Life. And each one of these, there's 36 stones here. Each one of these positions in the wheel have a story or a message or something that's going to give you insight and understanding about yourself, about your life, about the cycles of life and the cycles of living. And the short version, I'll give you a short little version of the medicine wheel teachings, is that in the east, which you can see on the left side of the diagram with the letter E, that's the east, that's where the sun rises. That's the 0 degrees Aries, also known as the vernal equinox, the spring equinox. And then if you go to the next portal or sign where the S is, that's south. And that's where the sun is the hottest. Also refers to the time of day, 12 noon, but also refers to the summer solstice, which is 0 degrees Cancer. Then when we go over to the west, where the W is on the right side of the diagram, that is 0 degrees Libra, which is the fall equinox. And this is the different times of life, which that would be maturity, or actually, yeah, adulthood, more adulthood. And then on the north, which is at the bottom of this diagram where the N is, that is the winter solstice or 0 degrees Capricorn. So this wheel of life is the cycles of life and the cycles of living. And this is at the north portion is where we reach maturity, and we're going to potentially start the wheel all over again, either yearly or lifetimes. Now, those other stones that are on the outer portion of the wheel, these represent rocks on the path. So on the outer portion are each one of the quarters, and these are the moons for each one of those. So number 13, you can see that number 13 after the east, that's the first moon after the vernal equinox. Likewise, this number 16 is the first moon after the summer solstice, etc. Then the other stones that are going down from the into the center, creating like a spoke, in the wheel, spokes of the wheel. There's 3 for each pathway, and those are giving more insight, more information. Like in the East, it's about having clarity, illumination, and the ability to see life from a greater perspective. So in the East pathway, these are going to be stories. That's what I look at them as, stories to help you learn about yourself and to grow, about the animals that are represented there. So um, it could be eagle, it could be hawk, it could be peacock, it could be uh, macaw, could be in this pathway, and those stories that go with their teachings for each one of them, etc. And then the middle part, where there's like a circle of stones right around the sea, which is the center, which is creator. You can see it says Earth Moon, um, uh, Father Sun, Grandmother Moon, etc. Those are like higher vibrational energies, the divine that are closest to God, Goddess, Creator. So that's the really short version. That's my very short version of the Wheel of Life. So, with that being said, each one of the animals and their matching gemstones have a position in the Wheel of Life. And so you can see the eastern quadrant on this left-hand side, Appendix C. Eagle, hawk, and owl are associated with the east because they fly high and see life from the greatest perspective. In the south path, there's quite a few listed here, but I like to work with dog and dove and like flamingo. Those are my favorites for the south pathway. And so it's easy then for you to look up which animals could potentially be more aligned with each one of the pathways in the Wheel of Life. Someday I hope to write a book just on the Wheel of Life. That will be an interesting, long process. Oopsie, I pressed that too quickly. Let's go back a second. So now Appendix D, there's even more because then you can look up things by either archangels or by angels. So by archangels, you can look up and say, okay, I'm really connected with Archangel Chamuel. What animals are associated with Chamuel? So then you can see that there's cardinal, duck, flamingo, and penguin. A lot of those have to do with relationship, relate your significant other, partnership, and family. And then you get the list because all this information is in each of the 88 entries for each one of the animals. But then if you want to just look up one specifically, you can come back to the appendix. So then there's the section on the angels in Appendix D, excuse me, which is based on the Essential Guide to Everyday Angels, which actually I wrote after this book. But my Angels and Gemstone Guardians cards came out first. That was the first of the series. And so that relates to these angel of abundance or the angel of communication, the angel of creative intelligence, the angel of fun and play. And you can see that there is a specific animal that's symbolic or represents, or their message is in relation to that. So you can see goldfish and ladybug, that's for good luck and good fortune. So the angel of good fortune associates with that. And then the matching gemstone you can look up as well. So it keeps on going. And the more that you get it, the more that you'll understand, and it will all come together and it will just be second nature. So, you can delve into it with all the different publications or just use this one book and get quite a bit of information. And of course, I do supply a glossary because I think it's important. There's words that I use that may not be familiar to everybody. But I want to read the definition for anthropomorphic. Yep, that's the word. It's personification. It depicts the forces of nature along with animals and plants in storytelling as a literary device. It is traditionally used in fables and has ancient roots in literature. And so I found that to be true even with the world of Disney and how he personified or anthropomorphicized, I don't know if that's a word, the animals and plants because they were talking, they were communicating with each other and with humans as well. And so we too have the ability to communicate with the plants, with the animals, and of course, even with the Gemstone Kingdom. So a little bit about my deck. Now there's 44 cards in this deck. And so as most of my decks are set up, where there's on one side, there's information that has to do with some contemplative, like if you look at the Picasso stone side of the deck of this card, you can see that there's the great picture of the of a one of that gemstone, Picasso stone, and then some contemplative thoughts. Have you noticed the writing on the wall? So if you pull this card and you get this message, then you ask yourself, what writing? Which wall? What am I supposed to be seeing? And maybe do some journaling, do some meditation work, contemplative thought. Do you need to express yourself through the written word? Are you aware of how your thoughts create? You are the weaver and you are the woven one. You are the dreamer and you are the dream. Accept that you have the power to define your destiny, fate, and reality through your focus and imagination. In fact, now I'm going to have to sing that song. Let's hope my voice holds out. Spider medicine has been very prevalent for me because it's also an indication that I need to sit down and get my writing done so I can share what I realize with everybody else. So here's the little song. Spiraling into the center of a dream. Spiraling into the center of a dream. You are the weaver, you are the woven one. You are the dreamer, you are the dream. You are the weaver, you are the woven one. You are the dreamer, you are the dream. So, with that thought in mind, align with this affirmation. I observe patterns and symbols and easily interpret their meanings. Writing and creating bring greater understanding. My imagination is active. I have great creative ideas that I can easily bring into reality. I create my reality. Creativity flows through me in a myriad of ways. So there's many good messages that come with spider medicine and with the Picasso stone. Okay, so the next one here is B. So this is about connecting with the sweetness of life, you know. In fact, one of the contemplative questions, do you recognize and embrace the sweetness of life? And and on this card is telling you now is a fertile time for you to manifest and create. It's always a good time to manifest and create. So these messages can assist you, and these positive thought forms and can help you. And so the one side of the card is the animal, the other side of the card is the gemstone with plenty of really helpful, inspirational messages. And that's it for tonight. Look at that. So here I wanted to share with you, if this is your first time watching one of these or participating, or even if it's not your first time and maybe you want to go back and learn more or watch a different subject of something that I've shared, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Go to the YouTube channel and let yourself enjoy these little 15-minute meditations, these half-hour workshops. They're all free. I used to charge for these workshops. And when the pandemic hit, I decided I really wanted to provide all this information and all my ideas and things that will help people at no cost. So now it's all available for you on my YouTube channel, which is basically youtube.com/Margaret Ann Lembo. Super easy. Subscribe. And then, did you know that I'm in a Amazon Prime Video? That's me on location. And I'm on Prime Video. You go to Mandala. I'm in session 5, which is Conversations with the Divine, and I talk about working with gemstones and crystals. And this was I filmed this. I was filmed in a beautiful, architecturally beautiful home in Malibu. And my husband and I flew out there and we had a really good experience and it was so fun to be on camera. I guess I'm a ham at heart. So if you have Amazon Prime Video, go ahead and take a look at that one. It's season 5 or session 5 of Mandala TV. Well, I want to thank you for joining me tonight and for joining me at whatever time of day you're watching this. I have all these beautiful books and decks for you to enjoy and read and experience. My Essential Oils and Gemstone Guardians cards is coming out in November. And you can, as you can see, all my books and decks are available at many different locations, whether it's the actual publisher or on Barnes and Noble, Books a Million, all different places that you, wherever you can find books, you can get my books. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope in some way this has helped you have a little moment of peace and understanding. May your days be filled with blessings and love, and may the angels light your path. Thanks so much for watching.